Alright, good evening, guys. I hope you are well and you all had a productive day. To those who just recently joined, please react to show me that you can hear me and I am audible before we can start. Alright, and can everybody see my screen? Okay, great stuff. Zeketelo, you have your hand up. What would you like to say before I can start? Or perhaps that was you reacting.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Once again, guys, welcome. And before I can go any further, thank you so much for taking time to join the session. I know that you guys are probably tired. It's first week and all of that, but you guys being here shows that you guys are dedicated and you want to make sure that you do well in all your modules. Hopefully, you are giving all of your modules the same energy that you are investing in commercial law, right? So, like I said when I started this, I am aware that you guys had already started with the chapters and so forth. However, I just want to tell you guys that you are more than welcome to send through questions if you have based on chapter one and the beginning of can you please raise your voice a bit? I cannot hear you properly. Okay, is this better, Anita? Can you hear me now? All right, cool. Okay, yeah, like I was saying, if you guys have questions based off chapter one and the beginning of chapter two, you are more than welcome to send through questions because in today's session, I'll just be continuing from where your other tutor left off, right? Okay. So, before I can go any further, do any of you guys know what law is? Oh, please feel free to send your messages in the chat box or unmute yourself when you are permitted to. Guys, please let's participate. Do any of you guys know what law is? Okay, I can see that maybe people are not keen on responding. Ma'am, I can't see your screen. Okay, let me just try and do this. Can you see it now? Can you see my screen so far? So you still can't see my screen.
I think she should like exit the call and then rejoin because I
Okay.
think majority can see the screen.
Yeah, alright, so far, so please exit the call and join again. I'm just admitting some people here. Alright, guys, in commercial law, you guys will be having two types of laws, but they are not limited to that. I think I've already asked you guys to please open your lecture two slides from the science of law so that you guys can see my slides, the ones that I prepared for you, so that you can better understand what is being said and the slides that you were given in school. You see, because I don't want you guys to deviate way too much from what your lecturers have prepared for you. Mine is just to make sure you guys can understand by portraying everything in simpler terms, okay? So, as stated, you guys have public law and private law. Your public law is your legal rules which control relationships between states and citizens, which means it's between us, the citizens of South Africa, and our government, right? And then your private law is the legal rules which control the relationships between citizens and their dealings with each other. Here we are saying that this is something that has to do with me and Tirofats or me and Anita, if maybe we have feelings together and so forth and so forth and so forth, right? So under that private law, there are different types of laws. Um, yeah, different types of laws that we people can have like relationships in, right? So I'm going to start with law of persons. Sorry guys, I'm just admitting others. I gave people grace to join, but they're only coming in now. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Right. Law of persons. Who can have legal rights and duties, right? This part of the law deals with when a person becomes a legal subject. Now, I'd like to believe you guys know that a legal subject can be a human or an entity. I'd like to believe that the previous tutor has told you guys the difference between a natural person and a juristic person. A natural person is a human being, and a juristic person is an entity. However, both are considered legal subjects. So, when someone tells you that or rather a person becomes a legal subject, it does not necessarily limit them to them being a human being only. It could be an entity, be a company, university, or yeah, something. So it just means that it's a person who has rights and duties, right? Yeah. So when does a person become a legal subject? This happens when they are born, and it only stops when a person dies. I'd like to believe it's the same with an entity. It becomes a legal subject when it is established, and it stops becoming a legal subject when the entity is dissolved. Okay? So, unborn children have some legal rights if they are later born alive. What that means is your child, whilst they are still in your tummy as a woman, I'd like to believe guys give birth these days. You know, guys, science is crazy. But anyway, yeah, whilst your child is still in your womb, they have some legal rights, né? Because they are considered a human being. So once they are born, um, they become entitled to the right of being taken care of by their parent, which is automatic. The parent cannot say no or whatever unless if maybe they give the child up for adoption and so forth. However, the child's legal rights from their parents is for them to be taken care of immediately after they are born. Now, people have different legal statuses, right? Doesn't mean, hore, if you have a legal right, you can do as you please at any point in time. As a child, you have some rights. Yeah, you have some rights. And then we have different legal statuses. Now, for example, minors and adults. A minor cannot make decisions on their own completely without a legal guardian, right? As opposed to an adult can make decisions however way they want because they have full rights because they are grown and so forth. But there are some adults that do not have the mental capacity to make those decisions for themselves. That's why you see in my slide there, you can see there's sane versus insane, right? So there are people, I think maybe you guys have heard in court judgments and so forth and so forth, where they have to test a person if they are psychologically in a position to make a decision or a test for themselves in the courts and so forth and so forth. So yeah, if the person is declared okay, then they are sane. However, if the psychologist says no, this person is not in the mental capacity to make any decision on their own, then it means that they need someone to represent them to make those decisions because they cannot make them on their own. Right. I want to make sure I'm not going any far. So, do you guys have any questions so far? I don't know whether it is me or everybody, but I only see half the screen. I'm not sure. Does everyone see half the screen, or it's just one person? Kamahela, please try to exit and enter the call again. A system of rules that apply within a community or society designed to maintain order. Okay, I got my definition of law. Can you please send this document to the GC? Do not worry, you guys will get the document. Do you guys have any questions so far? If you do, please type them in the chat box or raise your hand and I'll permit you to unmute and speak. Just 1 minute, guys. We don't have all the time in the world. Okay, I'm guessing not. Alright, let's continue. The next law on your lecture 2 slides is family law. Now, this one, it has to do with a husband and wife, a parent and a child relationship. So this part of the law governs marriages, divorces, and the rights and responsibilities between parents and children. Okay, so if you guys want to get married, this is the law that is going to be used. If you guys are planning on getting divorced, this is the law. If you guys are having custody issues, domestic violence, or maintenance related issues, this is the law that is going to be applied in your cases. Okay, it does not cover relationships like cousins or in-laws. Marriage requires marriage has legal requirements and consequences. Okay, and then parents have legal duties towards their children. Now, when it comes to marriage, guys, if you get married and you do not follow the legal requirements, then it is possible that your marriage will not be recognized by the law. Okay, so yeah, that's just basically what that point entails. And parents have legal duties towards their children, which means parents have a duty to maintain their children. If they don't, that's the cases where you find most of the time mothers being the ones going to the courts and saying, the dad is not paying maintenance, but they want to have custody to the child and so forth and so forth and so forth. So yeah, that's just what it entails. Okay, I put the example that I just stated on these slides, so you guys can have like something to go back and refer to in case you are studying and you perhaps forgot what is it that I said. Now, the law preceding that is the law of personality and patrimonial law. Now, in my slides, I decided to separate the two because I can see in the slides provided to you by UJ, they are combined. So I just want you guys to understand these laws separately, right? And guys, might I just add on, what I am showing you here is just basically me putting information in simpler terms so that when you read whatever it is in your slides or in your textbook, you read to understand and you don't just do things because you are cramming or whatever. Like, yeah. So the law of personality deals with protection of dignity, privacy, and reputation. This entails that this protects a person's physical body, dignity, and reputation. So if someone comes and assaults you, defames you, or invades your privacy, then you have a right to sue the person for damages because those things are a crime and are a civil wrong. They are illegal. They're not supposed to do that because they will be they are degrading you in a way. You understand? So a person is not supposed to do that. So the example I have here is if someone punches you, they can be arrested. It's a criminal case and they will be sued for medical expenses, which is a civil case. I'd like to believe in chapter 1, these types of cases, they are there. Right. Now coming to patrimonial law. This has to do with property, ownership, and financial matters of each individual, right? Yeah, it involves your relationship as a person with your rights and duties, which are valued in money, assets, and liabilities. Okay, so law of property: who owns what? If you have ownership over something, you have full rights over it, which means it belongs to you. You can do whatever it is you please with it at any time you want, and no one will tell you anything. And then possession means you can control something, but you do not own it, which means maybe a friend can borrow you their book. You have control to use the book and so forth, but it does not legally belong to you. You do not own that book. So if you can see in my example, if you lend your car to a friend, you are the one who is still owning it, but they are in possession of it, which means wherever they are the one controlling whether they are getting into an accident or whatever. However, the car still belongs to you because you are the rightful owner. And then there is prescription. Prescription is when someone openly uses land for 30 years without the owner's objection.